And then there we go. And hopefully y'all can hear me. Um, I still don't have like the full use of my voice, but I feel better today than I felt in like 2 weeks. So probably Nurse Cindy would tell me, or NP Cindy would tell me it's because I actually slept last night, and sleep is so important. So anyway, what I want to talk about today. Now, this doesn't actually matter. What I'm going to talk about matters, but I'm going to ask y'all a question. How many people did Spark Week with Emily and know at least were introduced to the 1 hour money making blueprint? I knew Jen was on. Was anybody else on? Casey knows a little bit. Um, I will tell you that, okay, Gina wasn't on, so this will be new for her. I will tell y'all that um, this idea of how to work your business is kind of different than what I learned when I learned, because I learned you have an IPA sheet and it has all these check boxes on it. And I feel like this is having you do the same things, but your mindset about it is so much more doable and peaceful. And that's why I kind of wanted to go over it. So if you want to see the whole process the way Emily set it up, you can look at the document that I put in the chat. But I'm just going to kind of give y'all my idea of what it is. And then we can talk through some questions, or as you try to do it in the next week or so, you can ask questions and we can just kind of work with it as we go. Because she taught about it, and then she did a whole, she's been doing like breakdowns with more training on each part. So I think it's very simple. And I think it just feels more doable to me and feels easier to explain to um, new people than here's an IPA sheet, do this IPA sheet. I'm not saying give up on your IPA sheets. If it's working for you, it's working for you. But also, maybe try this and see how it works for you. Okay, so it's basically how to work your business in 60 minutes a day. And she breaks it out into 3 steps. The first step is basically send a story or a message. Like this is our open door message part. I know on Meredith's team, y'all call it open door messages. I just always called it ask messages because open door didn't, or because cold message, that doesn't even bother me because all it means is I'm starting the conversation. It's an ask message. Somebody has not messaged me. I'm starting the convo. So in the first 20 minutes, that's when you focus on your ask messages. So the way she teaches, which you can do, is send a story to one person. Say, hey, I saw this, wondering if you could relate to it. If they answer and say yes, then you say, what interests you the most? Or, awesome, what can you relate to? Tell me a little more about that. And then you can use like the recruiting system to share another story that further confirms what you sent them, or, and then, ask if they want to see what they took and get them signed up in an ideal world. I think she said that stats show only 7% of people join on the first exposure. So most likely it's not going to look like that. But you never know. It might be your first exposure to them, but because they've seen stuff on Facebook, it might not be their first exposure, if that makes sense. So you just never know. You just follow the system. But the first 20 minutes is basically reach out to new people and see if they're open to learning about Plexus. Okay. And one thing that she said in a call I listened to today was that it's very important to do these steps. So, like this 1 hour system that I'm telling y'all about, it's important to do it in this order because you want to start with, well, two things really. She said you want to start with the thing that's the most likely to make you money because you are in business to make money. You also would do this. I see all of y'all on this call. I don't see one of y'all that wouldn't do this for free to help people. But also, you need to make money because you live in America where we need to make money to buy things and do things. And we have, we don't live in the garden where everything's free. So you need money, but you want to start with a thing that's going to make you money. Okay. So your tendency, and I'll tell you this because I was doing this, is going to be to do the parts you like best or the easiest parts first. That would not be step one. So commit to yourself that you're going to do step one first. If you have a story to send somebody, send a story. If you don't, send your regular ask message. If you don't have an ask message because you have been pretending to work, but you don't really send ask messages because it's scary, that's okay. Ask us. I guarantee somebody in this group has an ask message. I just sent 5 today because my goal is to send 5 today. And I wanted to go do step 3 because I like step 3, but I said, no, I'm going to do step 1 because, first of all, that's the money making part. And if you get into conversations, you could end up spending an hour just going through the recruiting process and not get to the last steps. And that's okay if that happens because you did the step that makes you money. Okay. The other thing is the whole like eat the frog concept, or isn't that? I think it's something about the frog. I don't know. Eat the elephant, whatever. You're supposed to start with the hardest thing first. Okay. So the first 20 minutes is send messages, contact people, ask if they're open to hearing about Plexus. This would be probably sending new ask messages. Because I mean, I guess you could spend a little bit of time following up, but if you use this time, if you send the ask messages and they don't respond, then you have plenty of time left in your 20 minutes to follow up. So I think if you want to move your business forward, you have to be sending new asks. So that's the first 20 minutes. Okay. That's step 1. And just going through the process, recruiting, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Step 2 is the social media portion of it. It's making your post. So what I usually, well, I would definitely make a post before I would send messages because it's easier to make a post. So, but send the messages first, then make the post. And this is when you make the post during step 2, and also go check out your hot 20 list or your drip list and like and engage to increase Facebook engagement. So basically, step 1 is your sales department. It's sending the asks. And then step 2 is your marketing. You're going to put something up about something on Facebook, in your stories, on your feed, and you're going to engage with people on Facebook. Some pro tips there are to have a list of people that you're working on, specifically engaging on, so that you could have some engagement. The goal is to engage for a few days, a week or two, and find something that you could send a story or a message about, because they might complain about being sick. They might complain about headaches. They might complain about their stomach. They might complain about swimsuits. You never know. So the goal is to connect and be looking for clues. So that's step 2. That's posting something and doing some engagement, engaging on stories, responding back to the people that comment on your post. Okay. That's just all the engagement, posting and engagement. And different people say different things about how much to post. I would say you want to post a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week in your feed about Plexus. Does it need to be an overt in your face post? No. But a lot of the people that talk about how to post for success on social media are Instagrammers, or they're influenced by Instagram. And Instagram is different. On Facebook, I've been pretty successful posting 4 or 5 days a week about Plexus, and then posting every day about my life. Okay. Some people teach post 2 times a week about Plexus, 5 times a week about your life. The point is that you need to post more about your life than about Plexus. And then if you're posting about Plexus, I don't know that you ever need to post facts. Cindy might disagree because Cindy's a nurse and she loves facts, but an NP, not the same thing, a special nurse. But most people are not swayed by facts. And if you're limiting and being smart about the posts that you make, I would post stories. Post something about your own story at least once every week or two. You don't have to tell your whole story. Tell something about how it's personally helping you. And if it's not personally helping you, then shake up your products, try something different. Because you need to see results for yourself. And then share other people's stories. And definitely throw in a business post once a week. So if you're going to do 4 posts a week, you could do 2 stories, a business post, and something personal. Okay. But whenever you post, whether it's about, I always say that your personal posts are probably more important than your Plexus posts because that's how people get to know, like, and trust you. So when you're posting, you can ask yourself, what's something I could share to help people connect with me? What's something that's on my heart that I could put out there to bless other people? And what's a picture I could put with it to make people stop their scroll? Just kind of ask yourself some of those questions and just play with it. I posted something I thought would get engagement because everybody's under snow and cold, and I got like 2 likes because you just never know. So play with different things. I posted a picture of my dad in his interesting clothing the other day. I got a lot of likes. Pro tip with that, if you're going to post a, picture of a family member that has different Facebook friends than you, tag them so you can make new friends. But my vibe is kind of be your own person and do your own thing and be creative. So that's why I posted dad and his really interesting outfit he was wearing the other day. I could literally do a post of dad's outfits every day that I'm at his house because they're always special. The next day, he was wearing green from head to toe. It was special. It was, and today he went to HEB in his red sweatpants that kind of look like Santa. Anyway, but he's like, "Is this okay?" And I'm like, "It's great, Dad. It's awesome." His coat was from the 80s and he was wearing red sweatpants from Walmart. So, but anyway, so you want to post something that helps people connect with you. You want to post something that adds value in some way. And don't forget, with all the stress out there in the world, making people laugh is valuable. Okay? I like to make people laugh. I like to inspire people, but I really like to make people laugh. And so I'm going to post a lot of things about that make people laugh, or at least they make me laugh. And they might not make you laugh, but they're going to make somebody laugh. And that person's going to be like, "Oh, I like her sense of humor. I think we could be friends." I mean, you've been in a group before and seen somebody post something, you're like, "Oh, we could be friends. I like that. That's funny." Just that kind of thing. And one key tip that has helped me is if you do step 2 and you are engaging with people and going to their pages, you are going to find things to post. Because as you're going to people's pages, you're going to see good posts. So save those, save the graphics. Another tip about that, if somebody has shared something, you don't share. If you want to increase your Facebook engagement, do not click the share button. Copy and paste it for yourself with a sentence or two. But if somebody does share a lot of things and you find that it's funny, like somebody shared something about people from the 80s, okay? So I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 81. So I went to that group because I saw it shared and I clicked on it and I went to it and I saved like 20 graphics that are funny things that people from the 80s will understand. Guess what else people who grew up in the 80s need? Gut health and skincare because they're in their 40s. Okay. So if you see somebody share, I have friends that all they do is share. Don't neglect to go look at those groups and see, oh, there's some good stuff there for content. I throw those things up in my stories. I save them to use when I can't think of something to post. So if you're doing step 2, you can collect some of those things. Okay. Step 1 was send the ask messages and just kind of work through the recruiting system. Once you send your ask messages, you can send some follow-up messages. Okay. Step 2 is post and engage. I don't know what that means. Engage. And then step 3 is actually broken down into 2 10-minute sections. And I'll tell you, step 3 is my favorite. Step 3 is this is what we all, raise your hand if you like to scroll Facebook. I like to scroll Facebook. I want permission to scroll Facebook. So if I do step 1 and 2, I can do step 3. Step 3 is literally open up your Facebook and comment on everything in your feed for 10 minutes. Now, the caveat, don't comment on like sponsored things and business things. Comment on everything real people post. And comment, if you struggle with what to comment, I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. I promise you, when you read a post, you have a thought. We all have thoughts. What I do when I comment, I just type those out, unless they're mean. If they're mean thoughts, don't write that. But like people are like, well, what do I say? I don't think about it. I just say what comes to my head. If somebody has a post about, well, somebody was posting their kids playing in the snow. My thought was, oh, how cute for them. I'm glad I got to sit on the couch and drink my coffee. So I typed that. I was like, y'all are so cute. You're such a fun mom. I sat on the couch and drank my coffee and my kids survived. I said, because I have my kids, I said, I would have felt bad, but my parents lived in Wyoming for 7 years and my kids got plenty of snow and they're gonna be fine. And then actually I found out this morning that the 13-year-old boy may not have realized that we even had snow yesterday because he's so observant and spent all day sitting on the couch looking at his iPad. But that's okay because I didn't want to go outside, so it's all good. He's like, we had snow? And I'm like, yes, all over the ground. It's why you didn't have school. Also, middle school memes are very relatable at this point too, because everyone with middle schoolers knows what it's like or was like because they're special. He wore shorts today too. Want a good engagement post? Post your 13-year-old in 20-degree weather wearing shorts. It's so fun. Anyway, but so on step 3, the first 10 minutes, just open up to your Facebook. You get permission to scroll. Just scroll and comment on everything that pops in your feed. That if you do that daily, Facebook is going to say, hey, this person puts stuff out into the Facebook world. I'm going to show her more stuff. I was concerned that if I did that, I would only see the same people over and over. But that actually wasn't the case, and it's really strange. I don't know. I'm not an expert on the algorithm, but I'm doing it and I like it. And that's something that I can do when I'm sitting in the car. I don't have to have a list of people that I'm dripping on to open my Facebook and comment for 10 minutes. It's fantastic. Okay, here's step 2. The last 10 minutes. Go into a group. This would be not a Plexus group. Do not go into a Plexus group and do this. Go into a group because when you're going into a group on Facebook, you are looking for new friends. Guess what doesn't work when you go into a group on Facebook? Looking for people to tell about Plexus. When you go into a group on Facebook, you are looking for new friends. It's like you are showing up at a coffee date or a Bible study, or you're showing up somewhere where there are people and you are just getting to know people. You're talking to them, asking them questions, answering questions, yada, yada, but you're not trying to find ways to bring up Plexus. I very rarely mention Plexus as a comment in a group. I very often answer questions, comment, say things, and then friend people and at some point send them a message about Plexus after we're already friends. I like having that gap in there to build some relationship first. So what Emily said on her call that was so like, it's like, duh, but I just hadn't thought of it this way is when you go into a group to try to engage, pretend you're an admin helping answer questions because the admins are busy. They don't have time to answer all the questions. So go add value by asking and answering questions and pay attention to the people that show with the little badges like rising star, rising contributor, top contributor, those kind of things. Those are the people that you want to try to comment with and get into a conversation with and friend request them. Pro tip. One time, this is just one story, but I do this all the time. I needed a new swimsuit because I don't like my swimsuit. I still don't really ever like a swimsuit. So this is always valid. So I went into a group that was a bunch of women in my area and I said, I need a new swimsuit. Where are we buying our swimsuits these days, ladies? I had probably 80 to 100 comments. I picked some of the people and I went and commented, sent PM. Like I asked, I commented on some of them, I liked some of them, and a few of them I clicked sent PM. And it was stuff like, hey, I didn't know if I didn't want to I didn't want to crowd up the group, but I've never bought anything from Shein. Have you actually bought something from Shein? How did it go? Tell me about it. Was it 3 sizes too small because it was from China? And like I just had a conversation. And looking back at some of the people that have joined me since that time, that was probably, I think that was in 2019 that I did that specific thing. Some of the people that have joined me since then, they became friends with me when I messaged them about the swimsuit. I don't really keep a list of people I friend to like go engage with them. Because you could do that. But also, I just I've done this, just not exactly knowing what it was called, the 30-minute blueprint, the 1 hour blueprint. I just friend people often, and then I just engage on Facebook, and then I put out content that people can connect with me and feel like they know me. And when I talk to people on Facebook, I don't get all stressed about what I post. I don't think, I wonder what they'll think about me. I just think of Facebook like I'm talking to Cindy. I just tell Facebook what I would tell Cindy. I just tell it what I would tell. But now, this is something that some of you may have a hard time with. For one, if you're an introvert, introverts naturally don't live their life out loud. That makes it a little challenging. But I promise you, introverted people have just as many thoughts, maybe more, because my talking gets in the way of some of my thoughts. So I guarantee you, you all have thoughts. And you guys are thinking, oh, well, nobody wants to hear this. The difference in me and you is I just say it because I have learned that somebody is going to want to hear it. And guess how I learned that? By just throwing it out there and people saying that they enjoy hearing it. Now, have I also heard people say they don't enjoy hearing it? Yes, guess what? They can unfriend me. This is my Facebook where I share things that I like. And if they don't like what I share, they don't have to be my friend. It's totally okay. I use it for free marketing. That's what it's for. If they want to be my friend and be a part of that, I can guarantee you they're not going to be more depressed by being my friend on Facebook because I'm not going to go out there and post depressing stuff. I'm going to make them laugh. If they don't like Jesus, they're not going to want to be my friend because they're going to get tired of hearing about Jesus. I don't post about politics because I just have too many friends from North Carolina that have different political beliefs than me. But I draw the line at Jesus. I'm going to post about Jesus. Like he's going on there. So, anyway, but that is step 3 is the 10 minutes of going in groups and just answering questions like you're the admin and engaging. And then if you do that in a day, if you send your ask messages, if you post and engage with some people, if you go do your 10 minutes of scrolling and commenting, and then do your 10 minutes in a group, and you do that consistently every day, your business will grow. And you're probably going to have questions as you're working through it, hence why Emily taught it. And then it's now still having like weekly classes on how to do it and do it better. But that's the basics. And if you're trying to teach a new person how to work Plexus, doesn't that sound so much more doable and fun than here's this IPA sheet? Make sure you tell everybody happy birthday and make sure you do this and that and that. I mean, I get annoyed with that. And I'm an Enneagram 3 and I like to work, but I still get tired of my IPA sheets. So, anyway, that's the 30-minute blueprint or the 1 hour blueprint. Now, she does say if you want to get results faster, do it more than once. Some days, because I work from home full time, we'll see when I actually have all those extra hours that you're supposed to have during that time, right? Do it another hour, do it again. A lot of times I like to do step 2 for longer, do more engaging. I really like to do step 3 where I scroll for 10 minutes. But I would say that probably if you're going to double up on step 2 and step 3, you should probably double up on step 1 too, since it's step 1 as well, since it's actually the most important step. I'm getting there. She also said that the first 2 weeks in creating a new habit are the hardest. And just because you're not doing it perfectly every day does not mean you shouldn't keep trying and that it won't get a little better every day. So, like yesterday, we had snow, and I was so proud of myself for doing my work. And then I realized I never did step 1. That's why today I was like, start with step 1. Why don't I do step 1? Because I have to risk rejection. I still hide my messenger once I send the cold message. I don't even know why. Like, I should not let it bother me, but it does because I'm human and I don't want to see somebody say no. Although in sales, we get confused. I said this on the Growing to Gold last year, before we got out of sync, but we think in sales that the objective is to get a yes. It's not. Some people will never say yes. The objection is to just get people to a clear yes or no. Still don't like no. I don't think I'm ever going to like no, but it's okay. I'm going to do it anyway because I have goals. So, anyway, okay. Any questions about that? Any of this? We're going to be working through this and talking more about specific pieces of it as we go, but I wanted to lay a framework for if you're not working your business the way you want to, try this. Your upline may have told you to do something else. I may have told you to do something else. If what you're doing is working and you're signing up as many people as you want and your posts are always getting engagement, keep doing it. If it's not really working for you, or if it's working for you, but it's not working for anybody that you teach, maybe try this. It's not super different. It's just a different way to frame it and look at it. We're still doing a lot of the same things, but our mindset about it makes such a difference. If we feel like it's doable, then we're going to do it. That's why I always get so mad when they announce a contest and they're like, 5,000 credits. You get 5 credits for signing up a person. And then they do double credits. And I'm like, you should make it where people believe they can do it from the beginning or they're not even gonna start. You gotta believe you can do it before you're even gonna do it. So I think, and Casey Tell me real quick, Casey, because you typed something in the chat. Um, yes, I'll answer your question in a second, Casey. Tell them real quick how shifting to this has impacted you. Like, how do you feel about it? Because you learned about it when Emily first mentioned it like 2 weeks ago.
I really like it because I feel like it takes the pressure off. Because whenever I sit down to my APA, there's so many different things to do, and my brain just gets scattered. So if I could focus, and plus setting a timer has really helped a lot too. Because and then I'm a scroller. I'm not gonna lie, and I've never been one to like to go engage and have a drip list, which I know we should have that anyway. But just getting the permission to scroll at the end, I found it easier. But also, I have been finding more people, like when I am doing that, I'm seeing more of their content anyway on my feed versus when I sit down and have to go back on my drip list and engage with certain people and stuff like that. I find it's holding me more accountable. Like it's simple and it's something I can do within an hour. Um, Even if like if I know I'm having a busy day and I don't have time, like if I feel like I don't have enough time to go through like my whole IPA sheet, I know I can do this in an hour, and setting a timer is definitely making a big difference.
I
I
even
just feel
jumped
like
mine
it's
up.
easier. Like I find it's easier less. I don't have feel a lot of pressure to do like the whole IPA sheet like I was. I'm not as overwhelmed, I guess.
Good, 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 good. Jennifer, did you start trying it after you watched Spark Week or not yet, really?
Not yet really. Like I did it for a couple of days, but I need to get back into
So let's just try it.
consistency.
Does
Yeah.
anybody not want to try it? Like, it's okay if you don't want to try it. Like, I'm not going to judge. If you love your IPA sheet and you're rocking your IPA sheet, I mean, I know Meredith has her errands app and she loves her errands app. I don't love to look at my errands app, especially if there get to be too many errands on it, then I just avoid it. That's my personality. That is not Meredith's personality. We work so well together because we're different and we can bring our strengths together. But I gave up on errands because it was too many things and I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
I just hate checking boxes on a piece of paper. I mean, to me, it's a waste of a piece of paper.
You know, everybody's different. That's why we
And
got to figure out what
and
works
so,
for us.
yeah, well, but we have to turn in an IPA sheet to get the
Yes. But
monthly thing. So I wanted to make my own IPA sheet that said I worked every day. You know,
well, I did have Victoria make us one and I'll share it that has this system and it's a little bit different than a normal IPA sheet if you want to just kind of show what you did.
well,
But I'll share that in the chat because she made
I
one
ma-
for this.
I made one for a month.
Okay.
And we called it, so it's Phyllis and me and Carolyn, impact producing activity.
I like that.
And then it's, reach out, post on social, customer care, business asks and follow-ups. And there's one day for it, one check for every day.
I
So I
love
don't
it
expect to have check marks on every day. I'm not going to work on the weekends, you know,
for
or,
sure.
and so,
I don't do IPA sheets on the weekends. I don't even technically do them right now, but
well,
um I am trying to do more of this the 1 hour money making just to make sure I'm doing the important things. But I love that. I think that's fine.
and
That's
this
a good
kind of
sheet.
fits into that. But I just, it's like, oh shoot, I haven't check marked. Did I do that yesterday or 3 days
And then a
ago? Or
lot of people, the thing is, you got to figure out what works for you, but then you
right.
also got to figure out what duplicates.
Agreed.
So, it's just kind of a trial and error. So, I would love to see what y'all think trying this business blueprint kind of to see how it goes. Try it. We'll ask some questions. We'll see how it's going. If you hate it, if you don't want to do anything, do it the way you want to do it. I really don't care as long as you're doing your work. But I'm just trying to offer different ways to do it from different perspectives that might just feel less burdensome, maybe. We want to feel empowered and productive without feeling overwhelmed and guilty. Like, especially with you guys who work full-time jobs. I see Gina on here. I know Erica works. I don't know what everybody else does. And Cindy, Erica wants to see your sheet. If you know how to share it in the chat, you can share it in the chat. Who made it?
I did.
You didn't make it?
I did make it.
Oh, well then how did you share it with Phyllis and
I think I emailed it to him.
Erica? Drop your email in the chat. She can email it to you. If you email it to me, I can drop it in the chat later.
Okay, I tell you, yeah, I can do that. And maybe I can put it in the chat. I'll
If you're
figure
on
that
your
out.
computer, I'll show
Yeah.
you. Hold on. Let's see what this looks like. If you're on your computer,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to Messenger.
Yep.
Okay, see this little plus sign?
Uh-huh.
Add attachment.
Yep.
You got to
can
be
do
in the big mess and you just stick stuff in there. Okay.
Okay.
You got to be in the big messenger part. It can't just be in an individual little message. You got to be in the big one to be able to have the plus sign.
What do you mean the big messenger?
Like if you just go to my page and pull
Yeah.
me up, you're not, I'll show you again. Like if you go to, oh, I'm recording. Let's see. Oh, share. I didn't share yet. Okay. If you go to me, or let me go to Cindy. Cindy, there we are. Okay. If I just go to, or just like right here, do you see my growing to golds chat?
Yes.
There's no plus. Oh, there is a plus sign, but it doesn't say add attachment.
Got it.
So
How
if
do
I
I go to
the actual messenger icon and open the big messenger, then it gives
Okay.
me add attachment.
I'll have to figure out how to do that.
It's not a big deal if you can't.
I'll figure it out.
You can
It's
always
not a
email
problem.
it to me and I can drop it in. So,
I'll get
any
it.
other questions about anything with this?
I have tried this system a few days, and one, I'm realizing that I'm super slow with sending messages, so it's taking me longer than 20 minutes to send 5 messages.
Okay.
But it's actually good motivation to be like, oh, I've been doing this for 20 minutes. I can pick up the pace a little bit, or not like completely worry about each little detail of what I'm putting in the message, but just send one.
Yep.
And so far I have like I've written down the names of the people that I've messaged so that I can know, so that I can have a kind of a log of who I am actually messaging
Smart.
and be able to go back and follow up. Like I need to write down names to be able to know who to follow up with. So that's
Yeah.
been helpful to have it on paper for that.
Yep. I think that's good. Casey says what's helped her is having a list ahead of time. Is that right? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Like making me a list the beginning of the week of who I'm gonna reach out to during the week. That way I don't have to think about whenever I'm sitting down. I'll have the list right there. So
Yeah. A lot of us, what we like to do, some of us do it real strategically. Some of us, like me, do it a little less strategically. But I have a general list of people that I'm engaging with. And then I do that for, a week or two. Sometimes it gets spread out longer. And then depending on what's going on and how well I do with it. And then I take that list that I've been engaging with, and those are the people that I message. So, and especially like if I'm trying to engage with somebody and they don't post, they go on the message right away list because it's like they're not going to have any engagement. They're not going to learn anything new. I'm just going to message them. But if you have a list of people that you're engaging with, and then you engage with them for a week or so, and then you message them the next week, then some people like to go a little longer, like have a list for a month of people they're engaging with, and then message those people the next month. What I do is probably somewhere in the middle, but it's not incredibly structured. It's like, oh, I have time to engage today. I'm going to engage. Then, so you just kind of, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? This one needs a little more time. This one doesn't need any more time. So, but the more you can figure that out ahead of time, who you're going to actually message, the faster you'll get through your messages. And I think it's still good to go to their page. You can go through 5 people's pages before you message them to make sure their dog didn't die or their grandma didn't die or something else. And then you can message them. But if you have a pretty standard message that you send all the time, I have basically a business message and a product message. And then I actually have a product if you're over 40 message. So I have like my standard ask, then these are for my peeps over 40, and then this is my business ask. And when I'm dripping on them or when I'm engaging with them, I'm like, okay, I think they need this message. Oh, they're a realtor. They don't think they need any more business. They're getting a product message, so I just kind of go back and forth. Can I share those messages? Absolutely. They're mostly in the Growing to Gold board, but I'll put them in Growing to Gold. I'll put them under Ask Messages, and I'll make a folder that says Aubrey's 3 sample messages. So y'all can see, because literally I just sent all 3 of those today. One of them is just Emily's basic message for her cold reach out. And then the second one is Emily's basic cold reach out message, but modified to say that I needed to shake things up after 40. And then I have a business one. And I tried the business one today that Lindsay Andrews shared, but I also have a business one that I send. I could send both because those are literally the 5 messages that I've sent this year. And every now and then I change a few things. Like there was one today. This will be my last tip. I kept hearing, if I'm praying for my business and then I keep hearing the same message from multiple coaches, I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. And one message that I kept hearing was leaders or successful people act. Successful people shorten the time between when they have a thought and when they act on it. And so I was really bad about looking at my list of people to message and being like, oh, they should get a business message because they're a masseuse and they could probably sell the products along with their massages. I'll work on that later. I was like, no, successful people act. I'm going to send this message. Now, she didn't respond, and I don't even think she's going to respond. She's never responded before. But I just went ahead and was like, I'm going to modify this message, and I'm going to send it to her. So that one was a little different. It just was like the basic message. And then I thought of you especially because I know people tell their massage therapist everything, and you could probably make some extra money by helping your customers, without having to work extra time. So I just took the main message and just added that sentence because I'm like, I'm not putting it off. I'm not going to wait and do it tomorrow. If I wait and do it tomorrow, Finley will come home from school because she's got a toe fungus and I won't be working. Like, you just never know. She can't see now, by the way, which is special. And she can't get into the special needs eye doctor until February 19th. So she is blind. We just found out. It's so fun. She's like, anyway, any other questions? I will put those in there before I do anything else. Okay. Oh, go ahead, Cindy. You have a question?
I did. I opened the big messenger, and my plus sign doesn't have send attachment.
Weird.
I know.
You know what? Sometimes they're weird too. Like right
They
now,
are weird.
for a little while, I couldn't get voice messages. Then I could get them. Now I can't get them again. Like it's weird.
Well, I
Email
may
it
have,
to me and I'll drop it in. It's not
I
worth
may
it.
have your email or not. I don't know.
I'll
I'll
type
see
it
if I
right
can.
here. Hold on. I'll type it.
Okay.
All right. I'll get those in there. Oh, Casey, in a group. Okay. If somebody asks about products, if somebody asks a question that you could answer with products in a group, here's what I would do. First, I would empathize. Now, I'm not sure this is the right answer or not. This is just what I would do. First, I would empathize, say, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you're struggling with that. I used to have that problem too." I might say a sentence about it to show I understand, and then say, "I found something that helps. If you want more info, message me." Just like basically, I'm so sorry. I remember blah, 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 blah. That must be so miserable. I did find something to help that helps. If you want more info, message me and I can tell you more about it. That's all I would do.
Okay, thanks.
I would keep it pretty vague because number one, people, there might be rules. And number two, mostly like I never try to hide what we're doing. I'm not ashamed of Plexus. If you ever see me attraction marketing and leaving out Plexus, it's because there are people that will just be like, heck no, if they see the word Plexus or if they know it's an MLM without even listening. And I'm trying to avoid that. I want to stay in control, but I'm not ashamed of what we do or what we sell. But I always try to stay in control. I don't want them going to my page to try to go look up Plexus online. They'll end up buying Edge and Metaburn and taking it at the same time because that's what people do, So I just try to make it vague and let them message me if they want info. And the interesting thing is usually the person who wrote the post doesn't message me, but somebody else that was reading the comments does. But I'm not going to have a whole conversation in a group about it because my goal is to be authentic and genuine. And I'm not going to be I'm not going to be outwardly selling in a group. It works better for me, I think, if I don't do that. Same with the business. When people are asking about what do you do from home, I don't usually engage. Every now and then I'll say, hey, not sure if it's for you, but I work from home with an online company. You can message me if you want more info. Anyway, actually, I think one time I just said, I'm at the point in my business where I don't want to convince you because I've already, I've got lots, I'm busy. I don't want to try to convince you. I'm not going to try to push you, but if you're interested, I'm happy to tell you more. Like I'm telling them, I'm not going to try to manipulate you. That's not beneficial for me. I don't have time for that. And then I did have somebody respond to that one, but you just never know. Like you just throw it out there. But I always try to leave it in their court to message me and give them just a little bit of information. If you have a specific example, like you see something in a group, throw it in our chat here and I'll help you with what to say. The other thing I was going to say before we close is if you're still watching this recording or if you're on live with us, and you're trying to do basically what I'm here for is as you're doing your IPA, as you're doing your work, your income producing activity, your impact producing activity, whatever it is, your daily work. The reason I teach this section is because I'm the expert. I am really, really, really experienced with IPA. I have done consistent IPA for 10 years. I know how to recruit. So if you are working, whether you're trying to recruit on social media or whether you're trying to recruit in messages or you're trying to respond to messages, I know what to do. So message me, ask me, and if you have a question, I guarantee somebody else in that group has a question. So ask and let me answer you. And I can help you that way because that's what, Meredith teaches leadership. She's coaching people on how to be, grow as leaders. I'm coaching on IPA all day, every day. I know how to do it. I know how to help you. We can do it together. So that's what I'm here for. All right, I'm going to end the recording.